Hi there and welcome to this tarot reading. We're going to ask the question of what's going on between you and the person that is on your mind. We have these 3 doodles to choose from today. If this is your first time, I just want you to look at them, focus in on them, just like my camera is trying to, and see which one calls you the most. You will find a timestamp taking you to each of these readings. It's going to be 3 readings on the same question down in the description, okay? Doodle number 3. There you go. Now, I invite you to trust your intuition, and I'll see you in your reading very shortly. Hi there and welcome, Pile 1. Today we're going to look into the question of what's going on between you and the person that is on your mind. We're going to pick one card for each one of you to represent you, and then we're going to look into it a bit more. Can we get one card, please, that represents Pile 1, please? One card. Okay. The 2 of Swords, a decision seems to have to be made. I'm going to get into it a little bit more in a second. Let me pick one more. Can we get a card, please, that represents the person that is on Pile 2's mind? I'm going to lose all my cards. Yeesh. Let's try again. Can we get a card to represent the 10 of Cups in reverse? Okay, interesting. The 10 of Cups is all about, family and happy home and basically the happily ever after, and that is in reverse. So this might mean there's some sort of blockage to it, or maybe just some disdain to it, not believing you can reach it. Very interesting. We got on your side, we see the 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords is someone who is stuck between 2 things, having to make a decision in some way, shape or form, if you can see that. There you go. And it's a really hard one. It's kind of like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But I want to get deeper into this. 1 second, let me get some more cards. Now, can we get an elaboration of what is going on with the 2 of Swords? What is going on with Pile 1 right now? What is going on with Pile 1? The Fool, a new beginning. Okay, so this might be someone that you've been basically contemplating if this is worth, it's if this is a relationship worth you staying in. But let me get a card also for them and one general card. Can we get a card to explain the reverse 10 of Cups, the person that is on Pile 1's mind? The Chariot. Okay. And one card to generalize what is going on between the 2, please. That's 2 cards, but I'll accept it. All right. Let's see. Oh, we've got the 4 of Pentacles, someone who's holding on to something because they're scared of change. Does that ring true to you? Someone who's holding on to something? Fear of letting go. And then we got the Moon, so there's a lot of emotions. And you might also, with the Moon card, you have the 2 wolves that you can see here. And it's, I don't know if you've heard of this, but there's this I don't know from what culture, but there's this understanding of there being 2 wolves within us. And sorry about that, there we go. And which wolf we feed is the one that grows strong. So sometimes this is seen as good and bad, or good habits, bad habits. And to me, all this means is there's an internal struggle being pulled towards 2 different sides, and you're not really sure what to do. So, this person is kind of just in between. And I think this very much symbolizes this idea of not knowing where to go. I see on your end, I see someone who has been feeling very torn. Torn because there's this thing of holding on and wanting to hold on to also the emotions that you maybe had at some point towards this person. But a big part of you is also craving a new beginning. This doesn't necessarily mean that the person that you are with or the person you are thinking of that that's going to end. But there's just this craving for a new beginning, for something new. I think you've been feeling very stuck, but also afraid of actually making the change necessary to not feel stuck anymore. With the other person on the other side, the 10 of Cups, as I was mentioning, is the card of like family and just having life, having the perfect life, perfect family life, sorry. And with the Chariot, I'm seeing someone who is wanting things to move along. So I'm not fully sure if this person is wanting things to move along because they want to reach that family life. I honestly don't think so. Because the card is in reverse, it seems to me like there is maybe a wanting to move away from that idea, wanting to have more freedom. So it seems like both of you are meeting in the middle, where you are holding on to what you know and to the things that bring you security and safety. But ultimately, each one of you is kind of also looking into the other options. What can you do as well to find happiness, to feel happy and content in life? And that might not be with one another, is kind of what I'm getting here. But it might also mean that you guys just have to work on whatever's going on right now. Let me get some more cards just to make this more understandable. Okay, what is going on between pile 1 and their person? What is going on between pile 1 and their person? Bring love into the situation. Okay, interesting. So maybe, where do I put this? Maybe this has been, okay, maybe you guys really do want to make this work, right? That love could really be the healing force that you need right now to make this work. But this could also mean that there is a lack of self-love. So you might have been stuck in this because there is a lack of self-love. You and the person might be in this situationship almost, or a complicated relationship. This does not mean it has to be a romantic relationship. It just means that whatever is going on between you guys is a bit complicated. And there might be a lack of love for self as much as for the other person. But which makes it harder to know what is good for you, what you really want. But let me get one more of these. One more, please. One more, please. Look at the bigger picture. Yes, so with the moon, sorry about that. So with the moon in the middle, it's now covered, but with the moon in the middle, the moon is all about emotions. And sometimes our emotions can be really helpful in guiding us. And sometimes they cloud our minds from the reality of things. So maybe there's just been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of emotions, maybe resentment even. And because of that, we haven't been able to zoom out. So with a new moon in Aquarius and a full moon in Sagittarius, it really seems like this is going full circle. Something is really going full circle. You might be recognizing patterns in your own life that you've seen in your parents' life, for example, or in your past relationships. You might be seeing patterns. And if you don't, then this is the point where you're being asked to zoom out and try to recognize these patterns so you can grow from them. Let me get some cards to help with some self-care and what you could do to help yourself in these moments. Some self-care cards. My God, I can't speak today. For pile 1, self-care. Burning bowl ritual. Okay, so that's really interesting for when we are trying to let go of something. And this doesn't mean it's the relationship you're thinking about or the person. It can be a way of being for yourself, maybe the way you think about stuff. It connect with your womb. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a woman. It just means connecting with the innate ability to create. A womb is the ultimate creation lab, right? We literally make life in there. So this is about like finding the power that you have to make the life that you want. And letting go of a version of yourself or of aspects of yourself or of people in your life that aren't contributing or not helping you grow as a person. I want to get one more, please. Oh, okay. Make a vision board. Yeah. So, yeah, I think, thinking about how you have been represented as the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, as I mentioned before, is about making decisions, about being pulled in like two different directions, having to make a tough choice. And what might help you make this choice is making a vision board. So the idea of like figuring out what is important to you. Oh, sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out the focus. What is important to you and what you want to have in your life, what kind of people you want to have in your life. The things that you actively want to engage in and you want to put your effort and your time into, that can go on your vision board. The things that you feel like are keeping you from doing that can go on your burning bowl. And all of it is connected to the idea of like your own creativity, your ability, to be a creator. We are all creators. It doesn't mean you have to have a womb. We are all creators. And the person you are thinking of, there seems to be a blockage to the idea of perfect family life, This might have been someone that you really wanted this with, perfect family life, just feeling like you've arrived, like you've settled. But this person is not feeling the same way about that. They want to move on, but that doesn't mean necessarily they want to move on from you. They just don't want this. So they might be steering your interactions towards their idea of what they would like life to be. So away maybe from what you want. And because of this, there's this insecurity about what to do, But again, with the Four of Pentacles, which we can't see now, but it was down there. The Four of Pentacles is about, holding on to material things, to routines, to things that give us security in the material world. And this can be people, this can be anything that we have experienced long enough for it to become normalized. Normal means security and a lot of, like in the way we think, So, it's interesting that this might have been your norm for a long time, and now you're starting to see your own power. And maybe because this person has moved away, I'm not sure. But I hope this makes sense. Before we end this reading, this is obviously a very short one. If you ever have questions or you're interested in a longer personal reading, feel free to contact me. But before we end this reading, let's pick some little notes, shall we? Wow, I'm having everything fall off. I'm trying a new way of filming this today, and I hope it looks okay because I can't really see what I'm doing. Let's see. Can we have 3 messages, please, for pile 1 and the situation that they are going through with this person? 3 messages, please. Okay, so let's see. We've got emotions are running high. Which makes a lot of sense with the moon standing between you guys. I think from both ends, from both parties, emotions are running really high, and we might not be thinking as clearly as we could if we were, more stable in our emotions right now. But let's get some more. Sorry if things get out of focus when I move stuff. Again, still trying to figure this out. go easy on yourself and others. Oops. Okay. So, yeah, there might have been a lot of judging, because when we get emotional, it's easier to structure life through looking at it in palatable options, if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is it's easier to see things in black and white, in good and bad. And when we do that, we lose the spectrum of the actual thing. We start to lose perspective. And that's something that you're being asked to do on this card as well. You're being asked to keep perspective for yourself and for others. Let us do the last one. Oh, there we go. Last one. Avoid falling into a slump. Yeah. This might be this coping mechanism. This might be, let me rephrase. This might be one of the things that you do when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel unhappy, when you don't know what else could be done to make life better. You might end up falling into this hopelessness, right? And with the 4 of Pentacles that we had, the holding on to stuff, holding on to what makes you feel secure and safe, this could be something that gives you a sense of safety in a way as well, because you're used to being in that slump, being in that state of unhappiness. But you deserve to feel happy. You deserve to not have that be your normal. I really, really want you to hear that. You deserve better. Whatever's going on between you and this person, there seems to be a lack of satisfaction and love. Bring love into the situation, yes. You're being asked to have more understanding for them and for yourself as well. You can't force anyone to bring the same amount of effort to the table as you bring forth, but you can try your best to do yourself as you would like to be treated. Yes, and I think in general I just want to give you a big hug, and I hope you feel better soon. Don't let yourself be defined by the people in your life. You yourself are a creator, and you yourself can bring your own happiness. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. I hope this was enjoyable, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye. Hi there and welcome, Pile 2. This is going to be a reading on what's going on between you and the person that is on your mind. We're going to pick one card for each one of you. Can we get a card, please, that represents, well, there you go. Pile number 1, you're represented by the King of Swords in reverse. I'm going to show you this properly in a bit. Can we get a card that represents the person that pile number 2 is thinking about? Card that represents the person pile number 2 is thinking about. The Knight of Wands. Interesting. Okay, interesting. Let me focus in properly. Is it focused? Yeah. Okay. Alright, so what I'm seeing with the King of Swords being you. The King of Swords is the master of rational decision making and thinking straight. So you might be feeling like you're not thinking straight, like you can't trust your decision making, like you're a very foggy mind is what comes to mind, funnily enough. With the Knight of Wands representing the person that you are thinking of, the Knight is always striving towards something. The Wands are your creative expression, your motivation. So this is someone who's striving toward a creative adventure. Very much involved with the self right now, if that makes sense. While with you, I can't really tell where you're at other than you're very hazy in the mind, if that makes sense. Not trusting your own thought rationality. I wouldn't say intuition because it's the rational side of you that you don't trust that much. But I want to get a bit more information on what is going on. Can we get a card, please, for the general energy between these two. General energy between these two people. What's going on? General energy. Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay. The Ace of Pentacles is new material manifestation. So this might be someone that you are going into business with or having a creative endeavor. Or it might be someone that you're just trying to build a life with. Either way, whatever you guys are working on together is catching roots. It's growing roots. But I want to get a bit more information. Can we get one card, please, to elaborate on the King of Swords? On pile number 2, in elaboration, please. Pile number 2, you elaborate, please. The Emperor in reverse. Okay. So I'm not going to say you're a guy, but with a king and an emperor coming up on this end, you might not be a dude, but the energy that you are being represented as is very much male energy. It's the spark that starts the flame. You know what I mean? Like you need to have an idea, and then the nourishing and the getting the idea to actually become a thing. That's more of the female energy. But the making the first steps, that's the male energy, basically. And with the Emperor in reverse, I see someone who really does not trust themselves. They don't think that they have their life sorted out enough. They might feel very lost. But I want to, so kind of basically the male aspect of like confidence and self and just action. Taking action for things, that's kind of missing, which is interesting because we have the Knight of Wands on the other side, which is actively striving towards something, actively working on the creative endeavor. But between you two, we have this beautiful energy of the Ace of Pentacles. Let me get an elaboration on the person you're thinking of. Can we get an elaboration on the Knight of Wands, please? An elaboration on the Knight of Wands. The Empress. Oh, isn't that cool? I love when this stuff happens. When things mirror each other, it's great. Right, okay, so let me elaborate on this now. We have on this end, we have someone who is beaming with creativity, beaming with motivation. And what I'm getting is this, you two, you might feel like you guys are two opposite ends of a spectrum. You're this person who is lacking the trust in your thought, in your rational self, in your thinking, and in your ability to have a stable life and to, be the ruler of your own life. You might feel quite like you lack control over your own life. While on this side, we have someone who's actively taking control. This is someone who is beaming, as I said, with creativity, with the need for creation itself. The Empress has the whole world in her stomach. The Empress is the female, the divine female, as a lot of people say. When we're talking about divine female and male, these are just concepts in which we are very much in black and white looking at, different attributes. But it doesn't necessarily have to do with gender or sexuality. But I just find it really interesting because I think you feel very unsure if you can even, if you're even at the same level as this person, because this person is just like, go, 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 believing in themselves and just so loving, so caring. And you don't feel like you can offer the same that the person is bringing to the table. You don't feel like you can offer the same type of motivation and that might be needed to match this beautiful energy that is coming out from this side. This is also beautiful. Everything is. But this is, I'm just kind of trying to explain things from your perspective. This is you and my reading just now. I do want to say, if you ever feel like things are flip-flopped, this might be the case simply because if someone is on your mind very strongly, you might identify with them more and more. But obviously also I am just doing a general reading of the energies going around, so maybe they might be attributed wrongly. Either way, these are the two sides that I'm seeing with you being represented here. I want to get some more cards. Can we get 2 oracle cards? What is going on between these two? What's going on, please? We have this new material possession. Oh, I'm just thinking, you guys, there might be a baby coming. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Oh, sometimes you don't see the forest because of all the trees, I swear. Yeah, you might have a baby coming, and because of that, you might be really scared of of this new chapter. You might feel like you're not up to the part, like you don't have what it takes to be a parent, which, by the way, is not true. Every skill can be learned, and I'm sure you might also don't. I mean, your thinking is a bit skewed at the moment, so maybe don't trust yourself in that way. Or try to look things from a different perspective. But I'm going to continue the reading. I just really wanted to point that out, that there might be a pregnancy as well. If there is, I congratulate you very much. If this is something you're happy with, I hope so. But let us get 2 cards, please. What is going on? Oh, well, that's too many. That is too many. I'm going to... Okay. Spirit's saying it is not too many. It is exactly how many we need. And I guess I'm just going to accept. These are actually 4 cards. Have faith in your dreams and release. Can we focus? There you go. Have faith in your dreams and release negativity. That I'm going to put here. Sorry if things go out of focus. Work for your fears and surrender to the divine. Right, okay. I think that I'm putting it on these 2 separate fields, but I think this is something that is general. This is about a general thing that's going on between you both. You have been working on something, right? And it's now manifesting. And that might be scary, but you're being asked to work through that and just trust. Surrender to the divine it doesn't mean anything else but trust in what happens is happening for a reason. And even if it isn't, you can learn from any situation that is put upon you. It can be a chance of growth if you decide to see it that way. And it's time to release negativity and have faith in your dreams on this side. So I think I really don't want to say this is from one end and one person and the other person. I just think these are general themes. There are dreams that are coming to materialization. They're being materialized, and you're being asked to, let go of the fear that comes with that and to release the negativity. This might be, I'm going to go again with the baby thing, but this could be anything that is like a material new, like something new that's coming up materially. You're being asked to trust and to release the fears and the negative self-talk that you have about yourself. And if you trust, even if your mind is hazy right now, things will come into alignment. Especially with this person's badass energy today. But yeah, before we... Oh no, wait, we still have more cards, you guys. Already 12 minutes in, cool. I'm trying to keep the readings at 15 minutes at the moment, also because my upload speed is not very good. All right, can we get some self-care cards? What is some advice that we have today? For pile number 2, advice, please. Pile number 2. Create art. Yes, if you think this person is a badass and extremely creative and that is something that you really like and love about them, then maybe it's time for you to take on that energy as well and become the creator. I really like that thought. Creating art is also a great way of expressing our emotions and spending our time, honestly. Like, oh, what do we have here? I think we're going to take the both that opened up. Oh, there we go. 1 second, let me put this away, then I can also focus on this again. Sorry about that. I'm still figuring out how to record these. Okay, so we have read and use your hands. Which, using your hands, just like creating art, is another form of expression. And reading can be inspiration as well. Inspiration that we can then, express. It'll get worked through in our body, and then we will express what we read, what we take in, not just reading, but anything that you sense in life with your senses impacts how you think and who you are. So reading things that are helpful to us, like if you're really scared, for example, if there is a baby on the way, reading about it might be very helpful. Learning, and finding a practical way of already making what you learned, bringing what you've learned into the material world, planning stuff already, creating things. But this, again, this could also be just a creative endeavor that you and this person are both on. Either way, you're being told that expressing yourself creatively and seeing yourself as the creator, as a creator, is going to help you actually solidify the male energy within yourself. Trusting that you can do the female is going to allow you to also do the male part, right? I hope this makes sense. Before we end this reading, it's time for a few messages from here. I'm going to do 3 messages because I like the number 3, my friends. I always do 3. Can we get 3 messages for pile number 2? 1, 2, and... Oh, you guys, that is too much. That is too much. I said 3. Sorry about the noise. I should do that further away from the mic, right? Whoopsies. Learning curve here. Release. Control. All right, that makes sense. When we feel the need to control, it ultimately stems from a fear of not having control. Does that make sense? Like, life is unexpected. Unexpected means you have to almost be on the lookout for something happening all the time. So we decide to look at the world through this lens of, we can control it. If we can control it, we don't have to always expect the unexpected. So what this is saying is, you need to allow that whatever happened between you two, whatever's going on, might be very unexpected. And if it is, you're being asked to trust in the divine, as one of the oracle cards said, and release the control, release the need to understand what the next step is, to know what's going on. Maybe even this reading you might feel very inconclusive, just because you're not getting whatever answer that you were looking for exactly. But maybe this is also a lesson for you to learn, that you can't go out into the world and expect exactly what you have in your mind to happen. Things will just happen. And if you release your need for control, you will find comfort in, the unknown, which is the ultimate source of how, the ultimate way the universe works, at least how we understand it. Rest is essential. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. If you feel like your mind has been running crazy and you just feel like you've been very stressed, resting and allowing your body and your mind to just calm down might be really, really helpful. Sorry about this. It keeps moving, but I also don't want to get it too bent anyway. It's okay to have emotions, okay? Yeah, I do want to say, with like the male and the female being so represented in this reading, emotions are often identified with the female, but if we look a bit further, the idea of like being brave and strong is often identified with the male. And if you're scared of showing your emotions, I mean, like, don't you, like, isn't it the bravest thing you can do to actually be honest about them and just allow them to happen, even if, these emotions might feel like you are losing control because you're having an emotional outburst, It's okay to have emotions. And when we have emotional outbursts, it's something that's been building up that needs to come out. If you would like a better way of having this come out, try creating art, try using your hands, try reading, try being productive with your emotion. I think the person that you are inquiring about might help you with this. This might be someone who's a bit better at, processing their emotions. And being honest about, I don't know how to do this, might be what you need to do to actually learn. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. We're already 5 minutes over. I hope you enjoyed, and whatever's going on, I wish you the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi there and welcome, Pile 3. This is going to be your reading on what's going on between you and your person. I'm going to pick a card to represent each one of you. Can we get a card, please, to represent Pile 3? A card to represent pile number 3, please. The Tower. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to get into it in a second, but can we get one card to represent the person that pile number 3 is thinking about? That is too many cards, my friends. Let us try again. A card to represent the person of pile 3, please. Okay, I'll accept that there's 2 today. Sometimes you want things to be symmetrical, but it just doesn't happen. Let me see if we got a focus there. Oh, we go. All right. You're being represented by the Tower. The Tower is normally associated with some big life event, normally something that makes it feel like your life is falling apart. That can be very, very scary, and it can be an energy that we want to leave behind as quickly as possible. But the Tower is always also something very important, because these moments, these Tower moments, often lead to the next chapter of our life. So I want to see the other person. We've got the 5 of Coins and we've got the Chariot. The 5 of Coins is all about like poverty and not having enough for yourself, hard times. The Chariot is all about movement, moving ahead. So this might be someone who wants to move away from these hard times, who wants to get to a point of being more affluent materialistically and just having stability through the material, if that makes sense. Hi everyone, I'm really sorry if there was a cut. I was interrupted, but let's continue. So what do we have here? We have someone who has gone through something maybe traumatic, or is going through something traumatic, a big shift, that's for sure, in life. And then we have someone on the other side who is trying to move away from poverty, trying to move out of poverty to make it better for themselves in life. But let's get a bit more information on what's going on. Can we have a general card about the energy that is going on between these two? What is going on between pile number 3 and the person they are thinking of? 2 cards, okay. We have the Devil, rebirth, Very interesting. What else do we have going on? There's an explanation for that. The star in reverse. Okay. Right. Let me see if the focus is set. There we go. All right. Yeah. So something is coming to an end and something new is coming along between the two of you. Death in this deck is specifically named as equal to rebirth, because an end is a new beginning always. Even if we tend to focus on the ending of things more than we do on the beginnings. With the with the star in reverse, the star is all about, your own personal light, and it's been dimmed. You haven't been able to let yourself shine, be your beautiful self. And I think this has been between both of you. Both of you have had this issue where something isn't fitting quite right. And there's the self is not expressing in a healthy way, if that makes sense. But yeah, it seems like this might be someone that you have a lot of like breakups with, and then you get back together. This doesn't have to be a romantic partner, by the way. This can be someone who's just in and out of your life. But yeah, right now it's just a very turbulent time for both of you. Time of a lot of things changing. Let me get more information on each one of you. Can we get a card to explain the tower? What is going on with pile number 3? Can we get a card to represent the tower? The High Priestess. Okay, interesting. Can we get a card to represent... Oh, that is too many. To represent the top one? Okay. The Page of Pentacles. Interesting. Alright. Oh, it's not fully symmetrical, but we'll just accept that for now. Right. So the High Priestess is all about our connection to our intuition, our emotions, our spiritual self. You can see it here. If all is in alignment, you stand in your power. And this could be something that you are experiencing right now. You are working on your power, on yourself. And this I'm going to talk about you, and then I'm going to look over here, but it seems like, this is a moment of empowerment. If realizing that you have not been in power, that you have not been in alignment with what is truly good for you, might mean that you have to change a lot about your life. And this can feel like a tower moment. This can feel like a moment of things breaking apart and falling into 1,000 pieces. But ultimately, this seems to be something that is happening for your highest good, especially with the rebirth card. I think this is very much in connection to realizing this, which is not being able to express yourself and to shine as brightly as you deserve to shine. With the Page of Cups on the end of this person, the person you're thinking of, someone who has been striving towards feeling materialistically secure, right? The Page is someone who is learning something, and the Page of Cups is someone who's trying to learn how to have a healthy relationship and how to connect with people. And this is blocked, right? This might be someone who hasn't been able to have a healthy relationship. Maybe this doesn't mean that they won't eventually get to that point, but it seems like right now, in this point in time, they aren't able to give you that, to be healthy, to have a healthy relationship. And you might have come to realize that as well. And how maybe their insecurities is the leading issue as to why there is this reverse star not being able to shine. You know, what is normal to us gives us stability and safety. And safety and stability have actually been quite prevalent in this reading today. But I think with the Page of Cups here, and in general, things that aren't so good how do I say this? Things that aren't necessarily seen as positive things, if they are in our life long enough, they become normalized. And once they become normalized, they give us security in a way. So this might be a situation that has become normalized to you, a situation of back and forth, of starting again and ending things, starting and ending, and ultimately never feeling fully fulfilled. And you might have been coming to realize this. So there's this big break in what's going on in your life. This might also be something, an event, a death maybe, losing a job. All of these things can be very traumatic for us. So whatever broke apart, and maybe it's this, is allowing you to see your own power right now. And this person, they are not at this point at a point in their life where they are able to learn how to have a healthy relationship. They simply can't as of right now. There is a blockage. And this blockage might have to do with, their focus being on the material, not being on the internal. Cups are all about our emotions. Coins are about the material world. So I feel like that's kind of what's going on. Let me get some more cards for you. By the way, all my cards are pre-shuffled before I start recording these. We are using the Moonology Oracle deck, and I'm just going to ask, what is going on here? What is going on between pile 3 and their person? What's going on? A time to give rather than take. Let me take one more, please. One more time. What's going on between pile 3 and their person? What's going on? You and your loved ones are safe. Okay, interesting. Well, definitely a new beginning. Something, I feel like you and this person, you tend to repeat cycles. You tend to repeat things, and you almost expect things to turn out a certain way because it always has. And for the first time now, things are changing. So with these two cards, the new moon in Virgo and the new moon in Cancer, you're being asked to assess your life, to figure out what you need to do in your life right now practically to bring it to a better place, to make this situation better. You're also being asked with the new moon in Cancer to look after the ones you love and to be conscious of what is healthy not only for you but for others. Very, very interesting. Let me get some self-care cards just to give us some advice on how we can deal with this, or how you can deal with this. Pile number 3. All right, pile 3. Can we have some self-care cards for pile number 3? Self-care, pile number 3. Dream journal. I'm going to pull 2 more, and then we're going to get into it. Pile number 3. What can they do? Create art. Okay, this came out with the last reading as well. One more, please. What can pile number 3 do to help with this situation right now? Sync with the moon. The High Priestess. I find it quite interesting how the Dream Journal card is right on top of the High Priestess. As I was saying, the high priestess is our connection to our spirituality, to our trust in our intuition. Our dreams are an expression of ourselves. We don't really know scientifically what's going on there, right? But what we do know, kinda, is that we are processing something in our dreams. And what you're being asked to do is to try to keep track of what your dreams are. Because there might be messages in them right now. With the high priestess, with this spiritual energy being very strong right now, you might be getting subconscious messages from yourself, from your guides, from the universe, however you want to call it. So it might be interesting time to try to, if you just keep pen and paper or even your phone next to you, and the first thing you do when you wake up is write down exactly what you can remember about your dreams. That can be really, really helpful. Not only to learn to remember your dreams more, but to get those messages to see, okay, what is my subconscious trying to tell me? What is going on right now? All of this, all that I'm seeing is there's a lot of emotions happening right now. There is a lot of tense energy in this reading. And you're being asked to allow your emotions to express themselves in a healthy way by creating art, by journaling about your dreams, allowing your emotions to subconsciously, express themselves, and you analyzing them afterwards with your journaling. The sync with the moon. The moon is also in astrology and tarot. It is connected not only to spirituality, but also to our emotions, the subconscious. This is all speaking about the same thing. And you're being asked to listen to your subconscious, listen to the messages that you have been too scared to accept, okay? Because you are so used to this repeating cycle that is not necessarily good for you. You are not giving yourself enough credit. You're not giving your emotions enough credit because you don't want them to be true, if that makes sense. Syncing with the moon, this can mean being aware of what's going on astrologically with the moon, but also it can mean being aware of when you have your period, what in connection to the moon as well. This can be really helpful if you're a female, because it is in astrology, it is believed, of course, that like the planets have influence on our lives, and the moon is one of the strongest influences out of all the planets. So yeah, very, very interesting there. Yeah, I really think you need to trust your intuition more, and you need to, your guides in the universe are trying to tell you something. And this something might, lead to your life seemingly falling apart, but this is all for the better, as a new situation is going to come along where you feel more empowered. You feel like you can be yourself without negative judgment from the other person on the other end. The person who's on this other side, the person we are looking into, is not at a point in their life where they are willing to learn how to be healthy, how to have a healthy relationship, how to communicate. Their focus is somewhere else. So you need to bring your focus to yourself, and to give yourself that love and taking the necessary actions. Before we finish this reading, we're going to pick 3 of these notes that I spent a whole afternoon making at some point. Let me just open this. 3 notes, please. This is going to be for pile number 3. 1, 2. Pile number 3 needs one more. One more message. Okay. Alright, so here are your finishing messages. Sorry, I've been recording for too long. Stand up proudly. Yes, this is exactly the energy that you have been lacking with the star in reverse that we had in between you two. this has not been something that you've been able to do, to be proud of yourself, to be self-assured of your beauty and uniqueness and worth. And this is telling you, be proud of yourself. If you have realized that you've been lacking this self-worth in these interactions with this person, you're being asked to accept that that is the case. If you felt it before and you keep pushing it down, it is there, it is happening. And you need to give yourself the love and the care and see your worth enough to just say, you know what? This is me and I'm proud of myself. If you don't like it, move on. You don't need to be in this situation if you don't want to. Okay? Even if it's scary, you always can change your life. Don't postpone your happiness to the future. Find happiness in the now instead. That's interesting. Yeah, so you might, this might seem like a very, like a situation that is quite, I'm lacking the word right now. You might feel like the situation is helpless. Like you're in this point where you can't be happy and you're going to do all these things you're going to have to do all these things to have happiness in the future. And that might be really overwhelming. So when we shouldn't postpone anything to the future, especially not our happiness, because we only ever experience the now. We only experience now. So we need to find happiness in where we are right now. And maybe creating some art and connecting to yourself, allowing yourself to feel more secure in your spirituality and your femininity especially as well. This can be a way of finding happiness even in the toughest of times. And you're being called to, please do that, to look for what's good now, even if it's scary. Even if it seems like there's nothing good. Because look, clarity is on its way, okay? Clarity is coming. Happiness is coming. Live it now and it will become your future, okay? I really hope this was helpful to you. And I'll see you soon, I guess. Take care of yourself. And don't forget how worthy you are. Because you are worthy of so much love. I'll see you soon. Bye.